All right, this is the alternating quad pull, and from a standing position, you're going to kick your right heel up to your rear and grab your foot with the right hand. You're going to hold it for 1 second while flexing your abdomen and glutes, and you want to keep your knee under your right hip. Drop the right foot back down to the ground and then perform the same movement on your left side. Keep this dynamic movement alternating side to side until you completed 10 repetitions on both sides. Okay, the second move of the dynamic warm-up is an alternating toe touch. So here from a standing position and your arms raised straight above your head, you're going to swing your right leg up to parallel to the ground. Meanwhile, swing your left arm and hand down towards your right foot. Touch your toes if you're able to. Then drop your right leg back down and push your left arm back up above your head. And then you're going to do the same motion on the opposite sides. Keep this dynamic movement alternating side to side until you've completed 10 repetitions on both sides. All right, the third move of the dynamic warm-up is called an alternating figure four. So here from a standing position, you're going to bend your right knee to 90 degrees and lift up and in where the bottom of your foot faces your left leg. Grab the ankle of the right leg and pull up gently. Then let the right foot drop back to the floor and repeat this on the left side. Keep this dynamic movement alternating side to side until you've completed 10 repetitions on both sides. Okay, the fourth move of the dynamic warm-up are called burpees. For these, from a standing position, drop down to your hands and kick your feet back into a push-up position. Complete a push-up, then kick your feet back up underneath your hips, reach your arms back, and then explosively jump up off the ground and reach your arms to the sky. Then land softly with bent knees and repeat for 10 repetitions. The fifth move of the dynamic warm-up is called a front leg swing. So here from a standing position, you're going to swing your right leg straight out in front of you and then swing back behind you. You can hold on to something like a wall or chair for balance if you need to. You want to gently build up your speed and range of motion and complete 10 repetitions. Then you can repeat the same movement on the left leg. All right, the sixth movement of the dynamic warm-up is called an abduction leg swing. So here from a standing position, you're going to swing your right leg straight out to your side and then across and in front of you. Hold on to something like a wall or chair for balance if you need to. Gently build speed and range of motion and complete 10 repetitions. Then repeat the same movement on the left leg. All right, the seventh move of the dynamic warm-up is called heels to hands. So here from a standing position and arms at your sides with your hands reached behind your hips, you're going to kick your right heel up towards your right hand. Then repeat the same movement on your left side. Keep this dynamic movement alternating side to side until you've completed 10 repetitions on both sides. The eighth move of the dynamic warm-up is called heel paddles. From a standing position, push your hands into a wall, sturdy object, or get into a prone position on the ground on your toes and hands like you see here. Extend your legs behind you far enough such that you feel a mild stretch in your calves. Push your right heel down towards the ground and then lift it back up. Repeat the same movement on your left side. Keep this dynamic movement alternating side to side until you've completed 10 repetitions on both sides. The ninth move of the dynamic warm-up is called a kneeling hip flexor. Start in a kneeling position on your right knee and your left leg extended straight out in front of you. Drive your hips forward and bring your left knee to 90 degrees. Then bring your hips back until your left leg is straight again. Repeat this for 10 repetitions and then do the same movement while kneeling on the left knee. The 10th and final move of the dynamic warm-up is called jumping jacks. For these, start in a standing position with your feet together and arms at your sides. Next, jump outward with both feet and at the same time push your arms up above your head. Then jump both feet back together and your arms back to your sides. Repeat this for 30 repetitions. All right, now that we've warmed up, we can actually begin the full body workout. And the first exercise for the full body workout is a squat hold. Now, squat mechanics are perhaps the most important to understand in fitness. There are tons of different cues that trainers use to help clients get into the optimal positions for squats. I'll share what I think are the most effective, accurate, and helpful. Since this is a standing exercise, you have to start and maintain proper foot position for it to be an effective movement. Your feet should be about hip width apart with your toes facing forward. Your feet should not be turned out or in, but rather parallel like train tracks. Create pressure in your abdomen and back. As you squat down, you should drive your knees outward. This turns your femur inside your hips and generates tons of torque. Weight distribution should be through the middle of your foot, not your heel. Find the bottom of your squat, hopefully at about a 90-degree bend or more. Pause here for 5 seconds. Then continue to push through the middle of your feet through the floor, drive your knees out, extend your hips back up to a standing position, and squeeze your glutes as you extend to the top position. Breathe in on the way down, do a few breaths while you're in the holding position, and then exhale as you explode and push up to the top position. You want to repeat these over and over until you are very challenged, but not at failure. The second move of the full body workout is called a push-up. Hand position is really important on push-ups. You want your hands to be at a width where you can hit a nice 90-degree elbow bend at the bottom of the movement. A trick to get your hands into the proper position is to put your arms straight out from your shoulders and make a 90-degree elbow. Now keep that same hand width and put your hands on the floor. Now that you have your hands in position, you can set up the rest of your body. Your chest should be in line with your hands. Your hips should be up off the ground, but keep them below your shoulders. Abs flexed, glutes flexed, and you should be up on your toes. Taking a deep breath in, slowly lower your entire body down towards the ground until you reach that 90-degree arm bend at the elbow. Upper arms should be parallel to the ground. Now exhale and explosively push your hands through the floor, keeping your abs and glutes flexed until you fully extend your arms straight. Take a deep breath in again and repeat until you are very challenged, but not at failure. The third movement of the full body workout is a single leg deadlift. Now, since this is a standing exercise, you have to start and maintain proper foot position for it to be an effective movement. Your feet should be about hip width apart with your toes facing forward. Your feet should not be turned in or out, but rather parallel like train tracks. Create pressure in your abdomen and back. Lift your left foot off the ground and bring your knee up to a 90-degree bend straight in front of your body. This should look similar to the crane in the Karate Kid movie. Now hinge at your waist, bring your left leg back behind you as you lean forward simultaneously. Try to achieve parallel to the floor with your back and your left leg. Once you reach this position, or as close as you can get to it, then begin the return to the start position. Think about pushing the middle of your right foot through the ground. As you're hinging at the waist, think about squeezing your right glute to pull yourself back to upright. Keep pulling that left leg back up until it is to that 90-degree bend out in front of you again. For breathing, breathe in on the way down and then exhale as you push back up to the top position. Repeat until you're very challenged but not at failure. Then switch to your left foot on the ground and bring your right leg up to 90 degrees and repeat the same movement. The fourth movement of the full body workout is a plank. Planks are an isometric exercise, meaning that the muscles are tensing up without full contraction, or basically holding still. In the case of the plank, the tensing is happening in the abdominal and back muscles to keep the hips from sinking or from raising up. To begin, put your forearms on the floor at shoulder width and bend your elbows at 90 degrees directly underneath your shoulders. Pushing up with your toes and forearms, raise your hips up until they're midway between the floor and your shoulders. You should look like a nice flat board from the side, hence the name, the plank. Keep your abdominal and back muscles engaged to keep your hips from raising or sinking from that spot. Make sure you continue to breathe while you're tensing your muscles. Hold here for as long as possible, up to 60 seconds. The fifth movement of the full body workout are called dips. I know I promised no equipment for this workout, but dips can be done on a sturdy piece of furniture in your home or hotel room. Chairs, beds, and couches all usually work great. You can see here I even found a wall at the beach to use. To begin, put your hands just outside of shoulder width on the chair or whatever it is you're using. Then extend your legs in front of you, maintaining a slight knee bend. Only let your heels rest on the ground. Create pressure in your abdomen and back. Keeping your head up and chest out, slowly lower your hips down in front of the object until you achieve a 90-degree arm bend in the elbow. Then drive your hips back up by activating your triceps and extending your arms. Push all the way up until your arms are straight and chest is pushed out. Breathe in on the way down, then exhale as you push back up to the top position. Repeat until you're very challenged, but not at failure. The sixth movement of the full body workout is static lunges. Since this is a standing exercise, you want to start and maintain with proper foot position for it to be an effective movement. Your feet should be about hip width apart with your toes facing forward. Your feet should not be turned out or in, but rather parallel like train tracks. Create pressure in your abdomen and back. Take an exaggerated step forward with your right foot and simultaneously move up onto the ball of your foot of your left foot. Slowly lower your hips down, bending both of your knees. You should be able to achieve a 90-degree angle in the knee on your front leg and keep your knee over your ankle. Your back leg should bend naturally at the knee, but your back knee should not touch the ground. After reaching 90 degrees in the front knee, push the middle of your front foot down through the floor and drive your hips back up to the start position. Remember to breathe in as you go down and exhale as you push back up. Repeat until you're very challenged, but not at failure. Then switch to your left leg in front and right leg in back. The seventh movement of the full body workout is called supers. Lay on your stomach on the floor. Push your arms above your head. Tighten your abdomen and your glutes. Keeping your head facing down and neck in a neutral position, raise your arms, head, and legs by engaging your lower back. Hold for 2 seconds and then return arms, head, and legs back to the floor. Repeat until you are very challenged but not at failure. Exhale as you raise your arms and legs, and inhale as you bring them back down. The eighth movement of the full body workout is called a hand walk. Starting from a standing position, your feet should be about hip width apart with your toes facing forward. Your feet should not be turned out or in, but rather in parallel like train tracks. Create pressure in your abdomen and back. Keeping legs straight, hinge at your waist and touch the floor with your hands. Walk your hands forward on the floor, alternating right and left, and lower your body down as you do so. Keep walking your hands forward until they are below your chest and you are on your toes, basically in a push-up position. Complete one push-up, then start walking your hands back until you are in the forward fold position. From here, hinge at the waist back to the standing start position. Repeat until you're very challenged but not at failure. Remember to breathe normally during the movement. Don't hold your breath. The ninth movement of the full body workout is called a calf raise. For these, you start from a standing position on the balls of your feet on an elevated surface where you have enough clearance to raise and lower your heels. A step on a staircase like you see here, or even the edge of your couch works great. You may need a handrail or wall to hold on to for balance. Your feet should be about hip width apart with your toes facing forward. Your feet should not be turned in or out, but rather in parallel like train tracks. Create pressure in your abdomen and back. Slowly lower your heels down towards the floor until you find the end range of motion for your ankle. Then raise your heels as high as possible, squeezing your calf muscles at the top of the movement. Breathe in on the way down and then exhale as you push back up to the top position. Repeat until you're very challenged but not at failure. The 10th and final movement of the full body workout are burpees. For these, you start in a standing position and then quickly drop down to your hands, kick your feet back into a push-up position. Complete a push-up and then kick your feet back underneath your hips, reach your arms back, and then explosively jump up off the ground, reaching your arms to the sky. Land softly with bent knees and repeat for 10 repetitions. The first movement of the cool down is a 90-90 stretch sequence. For these, sit down and put your right leg out in front of your body with a 90-degree bend in the knee and a 90-degree bend in the ankle. Put your left leg straight out from your left hip and a 90-degree bend in that knee and a 90-degree bend in that ankle as well. Keeping your upper body still and shoulders square, gently hinge at the waist and lean forward and hold for 5 seconds. Then lean to the left side and hold for 5 seconds. Repeat this 3 times. Then do the same sequence with the left leg in front and the right leg to the side. The second movement of the cool down is called a pretzel. And for these, you're going to sit down, put your right leg out in front of your body with a bent knee. Take your left leg and lift it over the top of your right leg and hook your left ankle behind your right knee. Pull your left knee in towards your chest like you're giving it a hug. Hold this for 1 minute and then repeat on the opposite side. The third movement of the cool down is called a cat-cow. Get on your hands and knees with your hands below your shoulders and knees below your waist. From here, round your back, pushing your navel up to the sky as high as you can. Tuck your chin in towards your chest. This is the cat. Hold this for 5 seconds. Next, drop your navel down toward the ground as much as possible and lift your chin up away from your neck. This is the cow. Hold this for 5 seconds. Repeat this flow back and forth for 3 sets. The fourth movement of the cool down is called a downward dog. For these, get on your hands and knees with your hands below your shoulders and knees below your waist. From here, push your hips up to the sky while you lower your heels down toward the ground and push your hands away. Keep your neck neutral. Hold this position for 1 minute. The fifth movement of the cool down is called a back bridge. For these, you're going to lay on your back, bend your knees, and put your feet flat under your knees. You're also going to bend your elbows and place your hands flat underneath your shoulders. Push your hands and feet through the ground and drive your body up to the sky. Push your hips and chest up and straighten your arms and legs as much as you can. This is a challenging move and tests mobility of the spine and shoulders especially. Do your best to try to hold it for 5 seconds and repeat this 3 times. The sixth movement of the cool down is called a 90-degree arm on wall stretch. Find a wall or tall, sturdy post. Make a 90-degree angle in your elbow on the right side and raise your upper arm until it is parallel with the ground. Push your lower arm flush against the wall or the post. Rotate your body so it pulls away from your arm and creates a stretch across the chest and shoulder. Hold this for 1 minute and then repeat it on the left side. And the seventh and final movement of the cool down is called a hip flexor stretch. For these, you want to find a tall flat surface like a wall or sturdy post like you see here. Push your right knee into the ground directly at the base and place the top of your foot flush against the wall or post. Once your knee and foot are set, carefully step forward with your left leg to a 90-degree knee bend. You'll feel a stretch in your right hip flexor and quadricep. If this is challenging for you, then you can just hold the stretch with your hand on the ground and brace here for 1 minute. If it's not too challenging, then you can advance this by pushing the upper body perpendicular to the ground to create more of a stretch. Hold this for 1 minute.